It's like experiencing a really great fling. You know it's gonna end at some point, so you just decide to live in the moment. And that's Manchester City for me right now. Last time we talked about Manchester City, they had just lost to United in by far the funniest way imaginable. I mean, can these guys really be called citizens anymore after a performance like that in their own city? Me personally, I would not want to associate with any of these people. Peasants, per se. Yes, we're gonna throw it back to the 1860s. Anyways, the peasants visited everyone's favorite city, Birmingham, to face Villa, and it didn't even take 15 seconds for Josko Gvardiol to have his 800th mistake of the season. And then 15 minutes played, City let a single pass go through their entire team, and they concede. Into the second half, City's defense looked less secure than the 2024 Copa America final, and practically let Villa walk through for a second. Oh, but look, Phil Foden finally scored his first goal of the season after 17 games. Honestly, this season, you could probably make him swap places with your average British traveler in Southeast Asia, and no one would notice. In their next game, however, against Everton, City went up early on. But then Rico Lewis goes into traffic code mode again, and City concede an equalizer. Nonetheless, Man City win a penalty, but the milk-drinking merchant can't convert. And just like that, Manchester Hamlet finished with another embarrassing result. One win in 14 games. Probably a good time to throw in the segment we usually do here, where basically I show the pictures of what you guys are eating while watching my videos. So let's begin. First, we got some papad, which is fried chips. Lovely stuff, lovely way to begin. Here's another snack, and I remember just reading the name of the snack and being like, yeah, this is definitely Dutch. This one's an interesting picture, burger and some waffle fries, by far the best fries by the way, and I'm not hearing anything from the lobbyists over at Big Wedge. Finally, it is Tet, never got to say Chúc mừng năm mới, Happy New Year. Here is a delicious plate that we usually eat during this period. I've been getting a lot of submissions, which means the absolute world to me. I really love that from you guys. It makes me feel bad because I'll leave out some of these foods and it's just like, damn, you know, I wanted to put it in, but you can't just waste the entire video doing it. But anyways, if you do want to have a chance at featuring on the channel, you can do as many attempts as you want. I don't care. All you gotta do is tag me on Twitter and Instagram. Anyways, the thing with Manchester City is they can very much easily awaken something in them, and they finally managed to do so, breaking the awful run of form with a 2-0 win versus Leicester. And post-game, you could just feel the energy. This was a win that they desperately needed. And this felt like the turning point because in the following week, Pep's men roasted the Ham of the West 4-1. Then there was the 8-0 versus the one team that every person did a career mode on in FIFA 20. God, I could not stand this fucking low. Against Brentford, Phil Foden became competent again and scored 2 goals in the second half. But then City's defense switched off not once, but twice, and just like that, Man City is giving the Atlanta Falcons a run for their money. However, City again do manage to get their shit together, and they drop 6 on Ed Sheeran FC. Just like that, all of Ipswich are on suicide watch, but probably not as much as Dallas fans right now. Too soon? Next was a Champions League game away in Paris. And I swear, man, that first half was some of the worst football I had ever watched in the last 2 years. If it's one thing that stayed consistent though, as it has throughout this entire video and the last video, City's defense looked very shaky. And if it wasn't for someone's kneecap, they'd already be down 1-0. But is there really any need for defense, said City as they scored 2 goals early into the second half? Yatta! Yatta! To answer that question though, quite a lot, as their shambolic disorientated defense gets torn to shreds and they concede 2 in just 4 minutes. Nothing gets better by the way, the far post could have been considered in a different time zone the way no City player decided to cover it, and then more careless defending mistakes leads to a 4th goal conceded. The result was bad enough, but this now puts City in a must-win situation if they want to have a chance of advancing to the Champions League knockouts. Oh, but how convenient for one of the richest clubs in the world. The January transfer window's here. And of fucking course, City were gonna spend the combined GDP of Oceania to fix their situation. God, I fucking hate this shameless club. In came some very young players, something the club probably should have done about 6 months ago. Center back Vitor Reis from Palmeiras for 37 million euros. You also had center back Abdulkadir Kusanov for 40 million. This is an incredible feat, by the way, for Central Asian football. I mean, Uzbek at Man City, that's crazy. Uzbek players have always been ridiculously underrated as well, so this could open many more opportunities in the future for the region. Also, now that I remember, there's a kid from Almaty, Kazakhstan who's set for a future transfer to Chelsea. In translation, he's probably just gonna be a journeyman in Europe, but hey, it's still promising. Finally though, City went big for a 25-year-old winger in Omar Mamouche. 75 million euros. To be honest, this kind of pissed me off because I would have loved to see him more in the Bundesliga. It would have been nice to see him complete that season with Frankfurt, but football, you know, you can't ever have anything good here. The Egyptian, who is also apparently Canadian, had 15 goals and 9 assists in 17 games for Frankfurt. That's literally 1.5 goal contributions per 90. Anyways, in City's next game, Pep decided to start 2 of these new signings against Chelsea. 3 minutes played, Kusanov with one of his first Premier League duels. No one wins it, but it's still alright because he'll be able to deal with this ball.
In the German domestic league to this point. Oh, that's a poor back pass. That's Jackson. That's Madueke.
After all the PR I did for y'all. This is how you repay me? City were really lucky not to concede another literally minutes later, and they were also quite lucky to be playing Chelsea because ever since the Blues' really surprising start, they kind of fell off. Not to the extent of the true grifter though. First it was City's 3rd highest goal scorer, then Haaland chips the keeper wonderfully, and then later he lays it on a platter for Phil Foden. City come back from 1-0 down to win 3-1. Again, there's just signs that this team is getting back into its flow. A few days later, City hosted Club Brugge in their last Champions League group game. And as said before, this was a must-win situation for them if they wanted to make the knockouts. And also, a lot was on the line for Pep Guardiola, who had never missed the knockouts ever. But even against Club Brugge, City were struggling, and just like we've seen time and time again, one break and City's got worse transition D than the Utah Jazz. Man City did manage to come back from that scare in the second half with 3 goals, but again, they were very lucky because for a good portion of the game, Club Brugge could have had like 2 or 3 goals. Also, once City went up 2-1, both teams were into the playoff rounds. They didn't have to do anything after that. And so, Pep continues his streak of making the Champions League knockouts, but they will have to play Real Madrid in the playoffs. And finally, we are up to date, Arsenal at the Emirates. For this segment and onward, I will no longer be talking in the Manchester City POV. I will be talking, of course, in the Arsenal POV, because I support this club. It was back in September when these two teams last met. Haaland opened the scoring early against the Gunners. Nonetheless, this Arsenal team was different to those of the past, and they scored 2 unanswered before halftime. From there, it looked like Arsenal had this in the bag, but in the dying minutes, City squeezed in the equalizer. Pure tragedy. But it wasn't just the goals that created the headlines. It was also literally everything else that followed. Haaland throwing the ball at Gabriel's head, Haaland asking Miles Lewis-Skelly, "Who the fuck are you?" And of course, Haaland telling Arteta, "Stay humble, eh? Stay humble, eh?" Ironic in retrospect. No? 1 minute, 30 seconds, Arsenal forced Manuel Akanji into making a mistake. Havertz squares it to Odegaard, 1-0 at the Emirates, and we haven't even finished singing North London Forever. 5 minutes played, Arsenal sees City struggling in the back again, and come on, man, that's too easy! Oh. For the 20th time in this half alone, Arsenal capitalize on another City mistake. The ball is laid off to Havertz. Again, Havertz, please don't fuck this up.
And it should have been another goal for Havertz. Well, might he hide his face.
Kai! City started getting more comfortable with the ball soon after, especially early in the second half, and it all just kind of started to feel a little familiar to me now. Typical Arteta ball was going to be way too defensive, and then we'd pay for it. And then, it happened.
Effective booming header by Erling Haaland, who makes his point.
Why me? Why me? Don't worry though, because actually, hold on. I'm looking up how to say this in a different language. City face hincha o Grishala. A bad pass falls right into Arsenal's control, and a deflection off John Stones gives us the lead not even a minute after Haaland's equalizer. Just 6 minutes later, Miles Lewis-Skelly collects the ball, drives into the box, and scores a 3rd for the Gunners. Who the fuck are you? Arsenal are not satisfied yet, however. We see 2 defenders. Martinelli, however, sees 2 cuts of picanha as he licks his chops and drops it to Kai Havertz, and it's in the back of the net for the 4th time of the night. Oh, wait, well, hold on. What's that? We want 5. We want 5. We want 5. We want 5! Well, Ethan Nwaneri could not agree more as he just whips that into the back of the net. Bukayo, is that you? Arsenal 5, Manchester City 1. Stay humble, eh? Sunday was a truly amazing day for me because I was so scared that after this game, I'd have to consider jumping off a 50-story skyscraper. But thankfully, we're still here. Now, I'm not gonna lie though, I've been using the whole stay humble eh thing in this entire video, but for the longest time, I kind of hated that phrase, I can't lie. Like, I kind of thought it was cringy, and even if we had won like 1 or 2-0, I would have still thought it was pretty cringy. But we won 5-1. So yeah, stay humble, eh? I know there's gonna be those people, because yes, we haven't really won a trophy since 2020, who are gonna be like, oh, all this just to finish second, or congratulations on your beating Manchester City trophy. You know what, fuck y'all. I'm on my hopium phase right now. And I'm in full hopium mode, alright? 2025 is gonna be my year. I just know it. It feels like it's gonna be my year, right? Because I just saw Vietnam win the AFF Cup. I didn't think that was gonna happen after everything that I experienced in 2024. Fantastic start to 2025. Couldn't be better, right? And that only means that there's signs, you know? It's not the year of the dragon anymore. I'm not gonna be unlucky anymore. This is gonna be a good-ass year, you know? In the next 2 weeks, I'm gonna see Alex Bowman win the Daytona 500. I'm confident in it. I'm confident. Because it's my year. It's my fucking year, damn it. And then the cherry on top, or the icing on the cake, or quite honestly, the entire fucking cake. Arsenal are winning the fucking league this year. We're gonna lose to Leicester now, aren't we? But you know, I'm getting too ahead of myself here. You know, we still got months to go with this league and everything. Let's just live in the moment. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. By the way, I also want to give a massive, massive thank you to you guys for getting 100K on the Vietnam video recently, the AFF Cup review video. I put my damn heart into it, and I'm so glad so many people enjoyed it. And, I mean, we achieved a rarity in the scene. A positive video did well in 2025. Round of applause. Round of applause. But of course, a massive shout out to all our members, including Janos Balash, Luke RBB, Brazilian Fury, Jeremiah Owusu Ajimang, Django, Adazir Makalangkom, Alex Rod, Ulta, Miguel Munoz, Return Fire, Rory Burns, Slider Kid, Taco Ogafan, The Cypriot 35, Not Windows 95 Man, Kentra Agacha, Saint Terrad, Sylvia Citrus, Wise Orange, Rashford Enthusiast, Cocosaurus Rex, Samu, Cheesebait, Winder Gel, M4 Does Stuff, Finn Likes Rugby More, Davox, The Portugizer, TPSK25, Polar Protos, Van Fan, Lucien Von Croix, Gazegas Brescikiewicz, Mano Tango Fei, A Ghostly Owl, Coney Wolves, Mud Tanai, Sketchy Card, KM89, Apollo, Congo Jazz 1, German Sayu 7, Thrilling ADT 13, Los Milos, Petrus 249, Freya, Dominic Griffin, Kyler Kress, Mohammed Altanib, Nish, Patrick Barley, Raspberry God 5, Raspberry Ale, and Broken Persona. If you'd like to become a member on the channel, there'll be a link down below and up the annotations. You can follow my Twitter if you want, follow my Instagram if you like, follow my Twitch, because just like I said before, I will be doing a Daytona 500 watch-along stream, and I don't want you guys to miss that, because genuinely, that will be so much fun to put together, because I get to explain, literally to all the people that don't watch NASCAR, all the lore behind everything. But until then, I'll see you guys.